Alright guys, so welcome back. Today we have a lot of work to do. I want to level the lawn. I want to get it nice and smooth since we got our reel mower. If you guys are reel mowing, you need to have a really smooth lawn. And so that is what we need here. We need to have a super smooth lawn. There are some areas in my lawn here that are a little bit bumpy. It's not super bad because we did level it earlier with topsoil this season. So it's not really bad. It's pretty good. There are just some, bumps in the lawn, and I want to get them cleaned out and get a lot of things figured out here with the lawn. So what I did is I went out and I got 2 yards of Mason sand. Now Mason sand, let's go over sand real quick. Mason sand is probably the best sand you can get if you can find it near you. I know your big box stores sell it in bags and it's a little bit more expensive. I was able to get it in bulk and delivered. I think that's better. You can also get leveling sand, which is available for bulk deliveries. I think that's also a very good option as far as getting, if you cannot find Mason sand, leveling sand works just as well. But you want to make sure that the sand is very fine as you can possibly get. If you can call up your local golf courses, they can oftentimes put you in contact with their sand distributor, and you can call them up and get some really good USGA quality sand for your yard. So what we're going to be doing today though is we are going to be putting sand down on these 2 yards, getting everything really nice and level, and kind of just going over that process with you guys. So to start off, what I already did though is I did aerate the lawn. That is an optional item. You do not need to do that if you want to. I did it only because I got this really cool new tool and I couldn't help myself, so I wanted to do a little bit of an aeration. I only kind of really did the front part here, and you'll see that here in this video here, but it's such a cool tool. It's the new Landsy rolling aerator. It is so easy to use. I will no longer ever have to pay somebody to come aerate my yard, and I no longer have to use like the stepping aerator that I used to have. This thing was so quick and fast. It made it so much easier and just a little bit more fun to go ahead and actually aerate the yard. So now I can aerate whenever I want. I don't have to break my back to do it or pay out the nose to have it done. This new tool is going to be absolutely awesome to have in the garage, and I was so happy I was able to go ahead and buy this one up. But I will leave a link to that one down in the description below. If you guys are looking to grab it, I'll link everything for today's video down in the description. But that was absolutely cool. So I want to go ahead and get to work. I initially was checking the forecast and there was no rain in the forecast, and then I woke up this morning and it was raining, so I had to tarp the sand, make sure it wasn't wet, because when you want to do this project you need to make sure that your sand is dry. Wet sand will not spread well. It will not go where you need it to go. One of the very first lawn videos I watched was from Dad Stuff 365, and luckily Clint and I are pretty close friends. We talk pretty frequently when we are making videos and whatnot, and it was like I almost willed it into existence. But one of his first videos that I ever watched was him leveling his yard with sand, and it started raining during his process and everything just kind of got out of control, and it started becoming a real big mess because you can't do this when this sand is wet. And so I was texting him earlier this week and I was like, hey man, order 2 yards of sand. Wouldn't it be funny if it just started raining in the middle of my video? And we were laughing about it. And then sure enough, this morning it just starts raining, and I'm just like, this had to be an omen, because I checked the weather all week long. There was never any rain in the forecast, and then sure enough this morning, rain. It was like something new. So either way, really funny, but we're gonna go ahead and start moving this stuff onto the grass. So all the sand is down for the most part. We have a little bit of a pile still left on the driveway, but as you guys can see, got a lot of sand out here. I'm gonna take a break because that was hard work. And we can talk about why we're gonna go ahead and use sand and if you should be using sand on your yard. All right, so when leveling your yard with sand, there's 2 kind of avenues you can kind of go with. The first of which is if you just wanna do a straight sand level. All right, you want to put straight sand down. What I highly recommend doing before you start the process is spraying your yard down or laying down some heavy nitrogen fertilizer, a quick release nitrogen fertilizer, to really get your grass growing. It's going to help the recovery time of your lawn on from what you're about to do. You're gonna lay a bunch of sand down. You're not gonna smother it so much, but you want those new blades to start filling in and getting through that sand as quickly as possible. So I always suggest putting down a heavy dose of nitrogen. Now, you could also go with a overseed method, which is what we're gonna do today. We're gonna overseed a little bit. We're gonna put down some more seed because we are looking a little thin right now, and I wanna fill in some areas. And this still is a good time to do an overseed, especially if your temperatures are permitting. So you can definitely seed into sand. I've seeded into the cracks of the cement, all right? So you can't tell me that seed will not germinate in sand. It absolutely will. It'll germinate in the sand, it'll get down into the soil, and it'll still be an absolutely perfectly looking lawn. So those are the two avenues you need to kind of decide on before you go through this process, all right? If you're going to just do a sand level, definitely spray your lawn with nitrogen, you know, and then disperse your sand and let it kind of grow its way through. For us, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do an overseed. Now, why do we use sand? Well, sand is the best leveling medium that you can go ahead and use. It is almost like an auto level. It self-levels itself as you put it down the lawn. You'll go ahead and push it all out and it's gonna fall itself in, it's gonna fall into place and really level itself out once you really start watering into place, all right? It is one of the best leveling mediums you can get. Should you though be using sand? Well, that is the big question, right? So, if you were in the south, typically you are probably using sand because your southern lawns, typically your warm season lawns, grow extremely quickly in those summer months. The stolons are able to get through that sand and really kind of fill in quickly. If you are in a cool season lawns area, like myself, typically you need to be mowing your lawn below or at or below an inch in height. So I keep mine at 3/4 of an inch, so sand is gonna be, you know, totally fine for me. You wanna be able to work it down low. Now, if you're mowing in a 2 to 3 inch area, that lawn is too long and the sand will not work for you, all right? I would suggest doing something more like a 50-50 mix of topsoil and sand for a lot of you guys. I think it's easier to work with. It allows some nutrients to get into the lawn and it allows it to work, you know, a little bit better for you guys, and you're still getting a really good leveling feature with the product, all right? The only reason why I'm not using soil is because the amount of times I've ordered bulk soil in my area and the amount of times I had then introduced more weeds into my yard, I'm just kind of sick of it. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not gonna introduce more weeds. I'm going to just go do straight sand because there shouldn't be any weed seeds in sand, and if there is, I'm really gonna be irritated. So what do you need to go ahead and, you know, get this process going? Well, I was going to go ahead and use my Yarbo, but my Yarbo did not want to work, and I was going to attach a really cool drag to it and drag everything out. Really easy, make it, you know, super easy on my back, super easy on my body. Hey, can't complain. I love ease, but my Yarbo did not want to work today. I don't know what's going on. I have an email out to tech support to try and get that fixed up. So another option is if you have a big open space, look to rent a top dresser. It makes the life so much easier. It's a wonderful machine. I'll see if I can get a clip of one, but it will drop all the product down for you nice and evenly, and you just kind of have to go through afterwards with your lawn leveling rake and kind of just work the stuff back in. But man, if I had a huge space, that's what I would use. It's just I don't have a big enough space where it would be complete overkill. So not gonna do that for me today. We're gonna do it all by hand. So I'm gonna take just a regular garden rake and knock down the piles. Then I'm gonna go back over and take my Landsea leveling rake and just work everything into place so it's nice and smooth, all right? And then once we're done, we'll show you guys what it's looking like, and then the process of what we're gonna do with the seeding, and then how to kind of follow up with that afterwards. So let's get to work. How'd I get the sand over here? She's not gonna be happy. I put it in the wheelbarrow and I put it all over here. Well, it's very possible I did it, see? She was having fun in the sand before. Now she's not. Why don't you go get your shoes on? You can play in the sand piles. Help me out a little bit. Okay, yeah, let's do it. Whew, help. Got some help. If you can't rent any equipment, just get yourself one of these. She works just fine. Sometimes she throws a tantrum, but you know, hey, at the end of the day, it's a little bit of bonding. Can't complain. She's having fun though. Always make sure to check your soil or your sand. You're putting it down, finding these rocks in here. Obviously, if you're reel mowing, this will destroy your reel mower real quick. So keep an eye out. I didn't see any on, the first few piles, but as I'm doing these last piles, I'm starting to find a lot more of these rocks. Just made me wonder, like, do y'all remember Land Before Time? Like, do your kids watch that? If you guys have like little kids now, do your kids watch like the movies you watched as a kid, or what are they watching? I know my wife and I try and keep ours like old 90s movies, just because we feel like, I don't know, they're classics. We can watch them, we enjoy them, our daughter enjoys them. But yeah, if you guys have kids out there, you watch Land Before Time? Do you guys remember Land Before Time? What a good one. Almost done here. Let's finish this up real quick. All right, so there it is. Sand is all spread out. I probably overdid it on the whole knocking the piles down. You really don't need to do it this much. But hey, I figured it might make my life a little bit easier now when it comes to spreading. So since everything is now moved around, you can see all the sand is out. We need to go ahead and get it worked into the grass. So I'm gonna grab my leveling rake and start moving in, but I'll show you guys what that process needs to look like. All right guys, so you grab your nice little leveling rake here, and all you gotta do is put it in there and just start moving it in. You want the grass blades to really start to show out. You wanna move all this sand into there and get the grass blades showing back up again and moving around. You're gonna do this the whole way through. So next question you're probably gonna ask yourself is, how much sand should I get? Not as much as I did, apparently. We have about 1,500 square feet, and I got 2 yards of sand, and I'm having a feeling that I got too much. It's starting to pile up on me. Again, I did not have an overly bumpy, uneven lawn to begin with, so I may have over-adjusted or overestimated how much I needed. It's gonna depend on, how bumpy your lawn actually is. So I would say stick, if you are, relatively flat, not too bumpy, but maybe, some bumps in there. A yard, maybe per 1,000 square feet. And then anything after that, you can, kind of adjust, but 2 yards for 1,500 square feet was probably too much. I will have probably some extra, which isn't a big deal because I can use it in other parts of the yard. I'm probably just gonna have to scrape some of this off, and no big deal, but just more work to do. We're almost done. We're probably about halfway done here. Neighbor's side is pretty much all leveled out. I started working on my side here. It would be so much easier if I had my drag to use, but unfortunately I don't, and so I am doing it manually. So let's finish this up, and then we will jump on to the seeding. All right, so as you guys can see, all the sand has been worked in. You can still see it, right? But we've worked a lot of it in. All the blades are standing up. We're looking really good. Whew, man, that is exhausting work. It's tiring moving all that sand. Next thing you can do is take a push broom and just kind of go over the lawn real quick with a push broom, which is what I'm gonna do. It's gonna work that sand in just a little bit further down than what the lawn leveling rake will do, and get some of that sand worked down a little deeper and get it looking a little bit better, just so that way you're not having a ton of sand on the top. So we wanna work that down. Show you guys real quick just kind of how that looks. All right, so all you do is take a little push broom like this and work it into some areas where the sand might be a little bit thick, and it'll work its way down. So I'll show you guys, as you can see here, there is some sand kind of built up on the top here. So you're just gonna take your broom, push it down in there, and it's just gonna get that sand nice and deep in there and get those blades sticking back up. That's what you're looking to do. And the sweeping in process doesn't have to take too much effort. I know we put in a lot of effort already. The sweeping in process just really is to help these blades stand up and really make sure that we are not harming the lawn in any way. See some areas where there's still some sand, no big deal. What we're gonna do next is we are going to overseed, and we're gonna throw down some new grass seed on top of this. Same seed we'd already had on here. Just wanna fill in some areas. Obviously they're a little thin, where definitely more sand is showing than anything because it's thin. So we're going to go ahead and throw that seed down, and then all it is about is water, 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 guys. So put all that water in. All right, so let's go ahead and grab that seed. All right, so we are now done. Seed is laid down, and we now have everything hopefully leveled out pretty well. The lawn doesn't look great. I mean, you can see it, you know, there's a lot of white in there still. It's all gonna fill back in though. Don't worry about it, guys. Trust the process. This is part of how it goes. All right, give it a couple weeks. It's gonna take a couple weeks. If you did not overseed and you put down a dose of nitrogen before you put the sand down, you will see, a lot of faster recovery times. I would say probably anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks. So it'll be looking really solid again. If you're going for the overseed, it could take 3 to 4 weeks before you're kind of really filled in again and looking really, really good. So just some things to keep in mind, guys. That's what you need to do. At this point though, you want to be watering pretty regularly. I'm going to water every single day. I'm going to have my neighbor water every single day. And what that water is going to do is it's going to help the sand get pushed down, get down into that soil, and really kind of help the grass grow and find its way back up. So you want to water it pretty frequently for the first couple of weeks of this process. That's going to help the lawn recover quickly, and it's gonna help it look really good. So you can go ahead and water real quick, and you water regularly, and then I will show you guys exactly, I don't know how long, but I will be back with you all when the lawn's looking solid and we're gonna get that first mow again, all right? So I will see you guys when I see you. All right, guys, so we are back a week later here. I had this whole thing filmed out, and for some reason my microphone wasn't working, but we're back a week later. The lawn has grown in very nicely, and so we're gonna go ahead and do our first cut on it. I will admit it is a lot longer than I wanted it to be, but we are going to take it back down to 3/4 of an inch today, give it that first mow to get it looking really, really nice again. Everything was looking good, and so we're gonna get that first mow in. All right, guys, so we just finished mowing the newly leveled lawn. I gotta say, yeah, it looks good. One thing I did not point out to you guys, and I will put pictures up, this took us roughly, I wanna say 10 to 12 days, and I will put pictures up of each day of what the lawn looked like post seeding or post sanding. And it looks, as you can see, it takes time. The sand starts to disappear on you, but it looked really good. I probably waited longer than I needed to go ahead and get this mow in, but I gotta say, it looks really freaking good now that we got this mow in. It was the smoothest mow I've probably ever done on this lawn, especially where the roots of the trees are. I can usually feel those when I'm mowing, could not feel them this round. So it did an absolutely amazing job. There's still definitely some new grass seed coming in from when we did overseed it, but we're gonna have to do another overseeding, especially where we're thinner in some areas, and really kind of target those and I will do that on another video another day. But ultimately, man, smooth lawn. So if you're looking to go ahead and get that really smooth lawn, you guys know what to do. Get some sand, level it out, use your landscape rakes, use your leveling rakes, and get the lawn looking really good. Man, it's hot today. Hold on. Whew, I gotta get in the shade. So yeah, get the lawn nice and smooth, and it's gonna take time to recover, all right? If you want it to look really good, you gotta kind of go through the ugly phase and really kind of work with it to get to where you want. And then once you kind of get that base level down, build it back up, and get it looking really good again. I promise you it's all gonna be worth it at the end of the day. So that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. If you guys did, you guys know what to do. Smash that like and subscribe button. Hit that hype button too. That's a new feature. You guys can hype up videos. Helps me get my videos out to other people who may not see them. And if you did enjoy this video, do all those things. And as always, guys, go out there, make it a great day, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next one.